Hello, dear audience, again. So welcome back to our another webinar. My name is Krete. I'm the CEO of GDPR Register. And today we're going to talk about AI, but in another angle. And this angle is towards how privacy professionals can leverage AI for their own work, what to automate, not to automate, and what essential skills should privacy professionals have in today's world. So it's going to be a very exciting and very practical webinar. So feel free to ask questions. We have a separate chat for that as well. So we have a designated time slot for Q&A in the end. So, but keep the conversation going. And today with me, I have Maria Golofaeva, who is the senior privacy lawyer from Nebius. Nebius is one of the largest independent AI infrastructure builders globally. So welcome, Maria. And it's your second time here. And please introduce yourself, a couple of words.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our today's webinar. It's a big pleasure to participate in the event hosted by the GDPR Registry and to talk about one of the most rapidly evolving area in data protection as well. It is AI-driven automation and compliance around it. And inspiration often starts with a simple sign or idea, and today maybe will be ours.
Absolutely. And Maria, you have been a lawyer for over 12 years. You have so many privacy certificates. Like, how did you discover privacy and now the AI landscape? What is something that is you think is the most interesting in your work?
Yeah, so I guess our webinar, as we discussed together before our webinar, it's about upskilling. So for me, privacy is about love to gaining new knowledge, and compliance today is no longer a once-a-year audits. It's a continuous obligation, and between the GDPR in Europe, CCPA in the United States, and increasing global privacy laws, DPOs must manage growing volumes of tasks like responding data subject requests, conducting DPIAs, maintaining data inventories, and reacting to incidents, and so on and so forth. And trying to do that manually can overwhelm even well-resourced team. And today's task is to understand where AI-powered automation can comes in and help us to make our work more efficient. And in my opinion, it has this potential to reduce the workload and even allow DPOs to focus on what heavily requires human judgment. And in data protection, it's ethics, strategy, high-risk decision-making.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at your current work, like how has AI changed your work task responsibilities in like very, very briefly?
So when we talk about how AI can automate our privacy professional work, I would split the answer into two parts. The first one, it's more obvious areas for AI automation. It's automation of different types of assessment, privacy impact assessment, legitimate interest assessment, DPIAs, etc. The second one is about reviews of DPA. If necessary, I can explore it more further. And third one, maybe it's about monitoring of regulatory changes. AI also can be very helpful here. But there is a less obvious part that can be unique for each and every organization. In this case, one approach I would recommend is using tools like Super Whisper, and the idea is to record what you do throughout the day for several days or even a few weeks. And once you analyze the data, you will start to see patterns, tasks you repeat all the time, activities that consume significant amounts of your time. And with this visibility and analytics, you can start exploring how to make this part of your work more efficient, and where AI can help you and realistically step in. So it's not like something very obvious, but to think a bit deeply.
Absolutely, and I think like with every new tool or technology, you have to start asking the question like, what problem are we solving with that? Is it like heavy data analysis? Is it research? Is it compiling information? So it's you have to understand in order to use AI, you have to understand what you do currently. And for that, I think it is a really good like self check exercise as well. Like what do you actually do? Like how to divide like different tasks and responsibilities and where I can save time. And I mean, when you look at specifically like a DPO's role, and it's like so many different nuances and you also mentioned like different like documentation reviews which privacy tasks can be safely automated by AI, if you could give us an overview of that.
Yeah, like if we're talking about DPIAs review in this area, we're quite lucky because DPIAs are somehow standard documents
Mm-hmm.
and very often consist of standard contractual clauses that can't be substantially modified. And these give us a great foundation for automation. For example, we can create a template of our ideal perfect DPA and then create a prompt so that AI highlights where the uploaded DPA differs from your ideal version. And it can quickly show you these gaps, deviations from your perfect DPA, or missing elements that require your attention. And as I know, there are a few add-ons for Microsoft Word that provides exactly this type of functionality, like reviewing DPAs and flagging issues, and even suggesting improvements in these documents. Of course, it's about fine-tuning, but once you provide a lot of feedback, what works, what didn't work, you will get quite a valuable copilot in DPAs reviews.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the quality, I think there has always been like this discussion recently, like how much can I trust AI, like how to set the workflow up. It's like maybe you can walk us through it because in the end, do you read everything or do you trust some parts that it's going to be good from AI?
Uh, I mean, like here, probably the strong prompting skills is needed to make your prompt and the output afterwards more tailored one, and to increase the quality from the beginning. And if you give vague directions, you get vague answers. And I've developed for myself the following successful formula. And the first, you need to specify what role AI should take. For example, I act as an in-house data protection officer with extensive GDPR experience. Next, to provide some context. For example, like I need to conduct a semi-annual privacy impact assessment for these specific processing activities. Third, specify the format of the response. Do you need something suitable for Excel or leadership executive summary or list of questions to business owners? And when you define the structure, you can get something valuable rather than a wall of generic text. And finally, give clear instructions and probably even guardrails. Like, and in guardrails, I can create examples like strictly follow the requirements of Article 35 of the GDPR and EDPB guideline on DPIAs, or like do not invent legal interpretations, flag any points that require legal validation, or if information is missing, just notify me that this needs to be clarified. And overall, you can at least from the beginning create these rules of the game. And the last but not least is to provide AI feedback. What worked well, what did it, refine it, improve it step by step. And overall, one day, not day one, you will get this valuable copilot. But of course, when we're talking about legal stuff that can
consequences,
have consequences, I motivate to have to still have this human oversight over it, but with this fine tuning, with strong prompts, the quality can be really good, and your human oversight can be reduced in time.
Is there anything else besides documentation that you have automated in your professional life? Any processes, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's still the first idea when I was thinking about how AI can help in privacy professional work. It's different types of assessment, and AI is extremely helpful at the early scoping or ideation phase. So instead of starting with a blank page, we can ask AI to identify potential privacy risks, stakeholders, possible legal basis, list of questions that should be explored further. And this gives us a solid foundation to work. And once we have a scope, AI can support with the drafting content or use it for quality checking, or whether these docs that we created are aligned with our other docs to avoid inconsistencies. So it's act as an additional pair of eyes as a proofreader.
Absolutely. What about risk management? Can this also like take over that side, that it can map risks, also suggest risk mitigations, provide like tasks, check-ins, like for that kind of a workflow?
Yeah, I can assume here that as a privacy professional, since we are quite experienced in risk management, is it still possible to create like a calculator of risks? But for doing this, you need to feed this calculator with the different approaches how to manage these risks, like NIST frameworks, or ISO. They also have a framework on risk management, and to train your own calculator by fine-tuning, providing feedbacks, and it somehow help you to create ideas. Maybe something is out of your mind right now, but it will help you to provide extensive list of ideas, and maybe you will get some insights out of these ideas, and create extensive list of risk, and it will help your organization to be protected by different angles.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a really good point that you brought out, that it's the context or lack of context. So the output will be as good as the input is, and the input depends on like how much of information does the AI know about the company, processes, risk appetites, company goals, and also with like ethical like standards, like what should even be on the horizon. But when I think about like different AI tools, and I think like ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot and Gemini are maybe like the most common LLMs. But do you use, or have you heard other privacy professionals using other different AI toolings, for example, that has helped you or had done?
I guess it depends on the company and what company purchase on the enterprise level, because usually enterprise subscription provides you higher level of security. And for example, if these LLMs are deployed in your infrastructure. So I guess it's a combination of factors, and it's better to be aligned with the information security team and IT procurement to purchase a tool that can be secure enough and can be efficient and can be used for somehow uploading confidential data sometimes. But maybe some, so you named the most popular one, and I guess the most of us use it every day, not only for our like work-related stuff, but in our personal life as well. And I can also mention a specific technology named RAGI, which means it's developed to work with retrieval augmented generation, and it can be helpful. Well, you need to summarize and translate complex legal documents, and it can be mentally challenging to approach a 100 pages document and spend time to review it, especially if the document is written in the language you are not fluent in. And this is exactly the case where this technology can work, and I can name the tool Notebook LM. And why I like this type of technology and this tool, because these significantly reduce the risk of hallucinations, because the AI, this RAG technology, analyze only the specific document you upload without third noise.
Have you also automated any like privacy trainings, something like that? Because we know that there is very a good opportunities to create visual content, trainings, videos. Like, have you used any of that as well?
We haven't used it, but like in my mind, for privacy training, it is one of the way how we can use AI is to use avatars with professional voice, like those one who can look as a TV host and who can provide you this complex content if we're talking about privacy protection in a more professional way, like those one who hosted these Saturday night live shows.
Yeah. So have you created an avatar of yourself already?
No, but maybe one day.
Because I heard from a conference that there was this man who was talking about AI and how he uses it in his everyday life. He was a professional speaker on AI topics. And he said that he has trained his own AI avatar based on all his correspondence, all his talks, all his articles that he's written, and trained it based on that input. And he uses this avatar. So instead of going into different meetings, he sends the avatar to participate in the meeting. And people don't even understand it's an avatar. And when someone asks what the avatar can't respond or doesn't know, he has trained him or the avatar to say that let's move on to another topic. So it's like very like safer, like let's move on, like so. But in the days like deepfakes, where like you can never know for certain, like if I'm talking to you as a human, or is it like some like an avatar or a deepfake, and so it's the technology has advanced very rapidly.
Yeah, I remember the latest episode of Apple TV series The Morning Show. It was also presentation of avatar of one of the main character, but it was trained on the low quality data sets, and it was a scandal out of this avatar presentation. So it's I guess it's all about the quality of data sets and fine tuning it to avoid embarrassed situations with these avatars.
True, and you never know. Maybe it will become part of our job as well, because we know there is only usually there is only one DPO in the company. So how can the DPO use AI to spread the word, and you can also automate like different communication channels, and if you especially like from micro learning, and train AI agents to spread this kind of like small snippets of privacy, and I think it like every tool is as good or bad as the ones who are using it. So and it's not to see the devil in everything, but it's also show or see the possibilities and have an open mind.
But don't you think that DPO should have this human touch? And of course, we can automate even our answers. For example, to create a bot that can scrape our knowledge database and provide answers to our colleagues. But I guess, at least personal for me, it's important to see to the eyes of the person who asked me questions. Some questions at my work, and to understand whether this person understands it or whether I need additional clarification, like to become a human behind all of these sometimes strict rules and sometimes requests to change some business processes. So I still think that this human factor, at least in DPO work, is very important.
Yes, I think it's about the balance as well, and how to show that that there is like a real human doing things in privacy in the company, and if you have questions, you can turn to this human being. But I think it's like up to a certain point, you can do everything by yourself and do like monthly onboardings, monthly trainings, and so on. But at some point, it's like how do I manage that? Maybe it is something that if there is like company all hands, like I will go very physical. I'm not going to send an avatar there. But I think it's like provides like another tool
Mm-hmm.
professional to use, and it's up to you to decide like what are the boundaries in that. And it's like maybe it's like I've used in my previous privacy career, like how to engage people, how to make it fun, and how to create like these different memes, and it's like
Yeah, yeah.
you're like laughing about like, and it can be fun as well, and AI provides like another layer of creativity for you to use. So
Yeah, I absolutely agree that sense of humor is very important in privacy. And I'm not sure that AI can create good jokes, but maybe one day
one
it
day,
will become better. Yeah.
yeah, and I think like the creativity part is the current downside, what I see in AI, but it can't think outside of the box or in creative
Mm.
ways and how to make solutions and how to put the picture together. But looking at the advancement of AI, generally speaking, we don't know what's it going to be in half a year's time, and in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. So it is exciting, but I heard from other people it's also very scary because you don't know, and what's the limit? There is no limits currently. So
Yeah, and that's why we have some time to train this AI to be aligned with our approaches, with our even sense of humor, and to have in a few years your own personal assistant with own name, with avatar, etc., etc. So to understand how AI technology works from the beginning, help us to get benefits with a better quality in the near future.
yeah, absolutely. And when we think about all the possibilities, what you can automate, it's also about the control element, like how to stay wary, like different risks, also like the data deletion parts, accountability. So and one thing that is currently, I think maybe like the most concerning part of using these different tools, it's like what happens with the data, like can you delete it even? Like, where do you even know where it is now? So, what would you answer? That can you actually delete data from AI?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like the topic of implementing data subject rights in AI era. It brings a lot of challenges both
Mhm.
for privacy professionals and machine learning
Yeah.
engineers. And in my opinion, the main reason of these challenges is that LLMs work differently from the normal databases. They do not store personal data in a simple place. Instead, the model learns by adjusting millions of internal settings based on a lot of information it sees. And as a result, any personal data becomes blended within the model, which makes it difficult to locate and delete. It's like trying to take out one ingredient from a cake after it is baked. And this creates problems because like laws as the GDPR give people several rights over their personal data. And it seems like with AI models, this is very difficult to execute them. But as I see, there are like probably, roughly speaking, 4 main ways to implement data deletion in LLMs. The most accurate is to retrain the entire model from scratch without the data to be deleted. This method works well, but it's very, very expensive and slow. Another way is to change some parts of the model without full retraining. This is quicker, but no guarantees that all data has been removed, and it's hard to check if it is worked. A third method that I like the most is to train the model with privacy protection techniques from the beginning, that no single data element can be remembered. But you need to have privacy in mind before training starts. And the easiest and cheapest way is to add special rules to block certain responses from the model. But however, it doesn't look like deletion in a classical way. And as far as I know, this method can be bypassed. So I guess if someone will ask us how to delete personal data from the model, the easiest answer should be not to use personal data to train this model.
True. And how do you actually like demonstrate it? Because like AI Act and GDPR talk about the accountability. You actually have to show or tell people like how do you demonstrate accountability in that field?
Probably I can assume that there are some techniques like red teaming or AI safety. You try to hack your model in order to understand whether it still conceals this data or not. But you should be like a truly professional in the data science to understand what methods it's better to use to check whether we can find this data or not. But we are talking about data deletion, and I've also read an article on NOIP website about it's not data deletion, but it's about the right on rectification. But it's interesting approach that LLM provider used. So it was an article about AI hallucination and how it seriously can damage a person's reputation. And specifically, there were a few cases where LLMs falsely accused people of corruption, child abuse, and even murder. And the latter happened to a Norwegian user. And when he asked the chatbot if it had any information about him, LLMs invented a fake story portraying him as a convicted murderer. But since this incident happened, this LLM provider has updated its model, and now when asked about a person, this chatbot also searches the internet for information before responding. And it's look like a practice example how LLM providers can reduce such kind of risks. Because I mean, like retraining model, it can be difficult, but maybe to add additional step of internet searches to confirm the answer can be one of the possible way from technological standpoint how to reduce these risks of AI hallucination and of creation of fake stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you asked ChatGPT or other LLMs like what they know about you?
Yeah, I use privacy mode with no with no with memory off. But anyway, I try to ask whether my LLM knows something about me, and it provides me a note. But whether I believe in it or not, I have some doubts. I still think at least for 30 days it remembers in logs information that I provided or I asked for.
True. And you were in our webinar in spring, and we talked about the role of a DPO changing and whether it should be part of the AI officer's mandate. And do you have any updates on that side? Like now you're in Nebius, so do you have an AI officer there, or is it this aligned somehow with your role as well?
We're still in process of building this function, and we're really heavily involved in building these processes on this topic. And soon, probably, we will get. And we're working on creating like a steering committee, because it's important to have a committee of different stakeholders to see on the risks and opportunities from different angles. So for now, I guess our main goal is not just to create AI office, but create a strong collaborative community within our organization that can work efficiently on AI governance.
And when you talk to your colleagues in the company, what do they say about the AI Act? Do they think it's necessary? Do you think it's a nuisance? Like, what's the general overall opinion like about towards that?
I have still analogy with the GDPR. When the GDPR has been introduced, everyone was afraid of this high amount of penalties, like up to 4%, and everyone started calculating these amounts. And I guess the same with AI Act. The first question of those one who are not heavily involved in reading and analyzing the laws, they asked, "What are our risks there? What penalties penalties there?" And I still think that for not lawyers, but people who have heard about AI Act, AI regulation, the main question is, what about penalties?
Truly, yeah. But do they also understand like what the AI Act wants to achieve, or is it something that you have to like communicate as well, like why it is needed?
Yeah, I mean, like the important point is the same as in privacy. That's why I think why privacy and AI governance is very aligned, is how you would like to be treated as a user of this AI. Of course, you would like to get this transparency about how your data is used, that they don't, that they providers follows the rules what they specified in their notices. For example, if I switched on zero data retention, I truly believe that it should be implemented like this. Or if I would like to make changes in the output LLM provides about me, as in these cases, I would like to have this right on rectification there. So I mean, like every time when we're thinking about like how we should behave with AI governments or privacy governments, we should understand that we are also data subjects, but of different companies, and
Yeah.
how we would like to be treated. And usually it helps everyone to understand why it is important, and why sometimes it complicates our professional life, but overall it can make our world better and to shape this industry, because it's just a beginning and we can have our own impact for creation these rules.
Absolutely, and I think this brings like this human touch into the topic as well. It's it's not just about like regulations. It's about like what it wants to protect, what it aims to protect. And in the end, we are all consumers. Like 100% of us, we consume something, some products, services. So how do we like to be treated? And in the general aspect, this is like also all part of the AI literacy initiative that was introduced in the AI Act. What do you think should every DPO or compliance professional develop in the AI literacy landscape? Where to start? Like what should be the baseline in AI knowledge?
I mean, like it's about continuing learning of laws, of ethical principles, but supported by case study and real-world scenarios to understand high high-risk AI management and human oversight. It will help also to create a framework where AI oversight is needed for what processing activities is needed. And it's important to encouraging collaboration among different teams to create clear internal workflows and policies, integrate assessments of AI tool in the general vendor management assessment, probably emphasizing zero data retention and training data use, and supporting overall organizational culture that values transparency, accountability, and proactive risk management.
But how technical knowledge should they have? Or is it something that there are like teams of product managers, engineers who would help to understand if you ask?
I guess I like the idea you provide is to ask professional in the field to provide their valuable feedback. But important thing for those one who lead AI governance in the organization is to be clear and transparent enough to transfer what specified in the law to these people and to ask their valuable advice on it. And maybe for this purpose, we can use AI as well for the ideation, for example, like to create a template to show your stakeholder what information you are looking from them. Maybe it will be clear for them what we expect as an output from them. But I trust professional in the narrow fields rather than becoming a person who have just a general understanding, but not a specialist in everything.
I think it's like speaking the same language also helps, and asking questions. And first and foremost, I think the biggest pitfall that like a compliance specialist or DPO can fall is you copy paste paragraphs from a regulation, put the checklist together, and send it out, and this is what needs to be done. And when like an engineer or a data scientist or a product manager reads it, like, okay, I need to like compile, we need to compile an assessment. Okay, but what do I actually have to do? Like, what does it mean for me? What is expected from me? It's like, it requires like a good like expectation management as well. And translating regulations to like action plans, like who needs to do what. So it's about that. And I would say it's like to ask questions, because first and foremost, we need to speak the same language. Because there have been like situations from my press career when someone thought that anonymization meant pseudonymization, or pseudonymization was actually anonymization. And for example, like if we keep data for 24 hours, can we actually say that we don't keep data at all? So it's about like these tiny nuances that people understand things the same way, especially when we talk about very technical terminology, and we privacy professionals are not expert in data science either.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And maybe also to provide some examples, also like as a navigation, as a starting point where we can develop this idea or action point, and to make alignments with our own product, because like usually laws are technological and neutral. They don't provide you a detailed guidance what to do. And from one perspective, it is beneficial for us because we know our organization better and we can know how we can implement this requirement. And that's why like having these examples in mind, or analogy how we made when we implemented some privacy controls can also be helpful and valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. When we discussed what to discuss today in the summer, we agreed to talk about one specific field in corporate structure, and it was about using AI in human resources, in recruitment, in employee management, and I think this may be like quite a typical case in very many companies that recruiters are using AI, personnel management structures are using. So it is like increasingly getting bigger and bigger. There are a lot of different toolings, service providers in the market for using AI for screening, training, and also we talked about generating avatars. Like, what are the biggest risks regarding using these toolings without even like not understanding fully what it actually means?
Yeah, I like this topic of LLM scoring in HR because it can show different aspects what you need to consider when you are thinking about assessment of this tool and this personal data processing activities as well. And we can take an example. For example, we can imagine an IT company based in the European Union that uses ChatGPT Enterprise to automate part of its recruitment process, integrates this AI system into its own HR platform under its own brand, has significant changes to this system by adding additional ways to assess candidates. And overall, this company uses this system to automatically screen CVs and evaluate candidates. And like we have this scenario, and in this situation, most likely this company would be considered as a provider under EU Act rather than a deployer. And it means that the company faces several important legal obligations, like doing conformity assessments, setting risk management, like making sure that the data quality are up to standard. And it seems like many of these obligations are pretty familiar when we're working in privacy management. But AI has its own challenges. I can imagine like in this, it's crucial to anticipate risks like discrimination when, for example, AI rejecting CVs unfairly based on gender or age. And it's something new, not that specific for privacy. And if the system was trained using data where, for example, women were underrepresented in leadership roles, the AI might learn and repeat these biases. And to prevent this, you need to carefully check your data before training the AI, document this quality, use diversity data sets. And when it comes to testing algorithm, we can once again back to privacy engineering, and to think about methods like differential privacy that can protect people's identity. So this is a method that adds distortions to the data to protect the person's identity, but preserving overall patterns. And for example, if a study shows that a certain area has a high rate of diabetes, the AI shouldn't reveal who exactly has this disease. So it's like where AI and privacy can have this collaboration one more time. And one important thing here is about human oversight. Human oversight is also important when we're talking about profiling, and here we also have some space to think about where, on what stage we need to implement human oversight. Sometimes the AI just provides information and the person makes the final decision at the end. Other times the AI helps to analyze some data early on with the human making the ultimate decision after that input, or oversight can happen throughout the whole process, especially when AI outputs are complicated or not too easy to understand. And it's still relevant for this case of LLM scoring in HR processes, like depending on the specific of your tool or type of risk it can face. You can think about on what stage you can provide this human oversight. But the key is that human must be able to influence the decision meaningfully before it impacts someone's life.
Yeah.
And in practice, I guess every high-risk AI tool should have a product owner, someone who will be responsible for human oversight, and these people should be trained about AI strengths, AI limits, how to report problem, and have this power to challenge AI decision if needed. For example, in recruitment, AI might rank candidates, but recruiters should still review those candidates who didn't rank at the top to avoid missing good candidates. And the product owner should keep these records on how AI is used, monitor, and regularly checked to ensure it's working fairly.
Yeah. And I think like where truly the transparency is needed in such like recruitment cases is when data subject requests come in and people want to know like how did you make that decision, but I wasn't like hired. What information do you have? Have you used AI for in my recruitment? How did you do it? Like what information have you collected? And I think that will expose like the pitfalls and in there if you can't answer these questions, like what are you actually doing? So and there is like you have to explain like how AI was used and do it in a human language. So.
Yeah, but I think it can be also not a tricky one, but interesting topic when you need to provide how your algorithm work. Sometimes this algorithm can contain confidential data or even a trade secret. So you should be creative enough to provide enough transparency for the user to be in compliance with the law, but also not to disclose too many information to your competitors.
Absolutely, and it's finding the balance, and it has always been like this with GDPR as well. Like, how much can I explain that it's enough, but I don't reveal my business secrets? So it's like this balance that you have to find, and I think AI is adding into this mix as well. So, as we are approaching the end of our webinar, please ask questions from Maria, like anything that you want to know specifically about HR, AI topics, about different toolings processes, different toolkits that she is using. So feel free to ask questions. But until I can see that we have like one, feel free to pop questions in the chat. And until the questions are coming, I will actually ask regarding your current work table, and then what's the most challenging topic or what issue you're dealing with related to AI currently? Is it like about the processes? Is it about different tooling? Is it about education, trainings, documentation, strategy that you are currently hurdling with?
The main challenge that I faced recently is also related to AI automation, AI automation processes, and the interesting topic that I discussed internally, that if you automate one part of your work, you will get more capacity to do something else. And usually it's like a circle. If you automate one part, you will get some additional one, and that's why I'm thinking how to make, even in my mind, this automation complex in order to avoid automation one part, but creation another routine and manual process that not need that heavily human involvement on the other side. So to think more strategically how to increase overall efficiency and go out of this circle.
True. And Cindy is asking, what is the recent issue that you have encountered using the AI tool?
I that person who check all the answers, so I don't truly believe AI, but I have this tendency to provide my feedback to work it better. And the latest case was about receiving possible legal basis to use for processing activities. And one more time, I was said that AI gave me consent as the main legal basis for processing of personal data. I don't know, maybe because of the US nature of LLM providers, but it's still trained that almost for everything we should use consent.
Okay. And Agatha is asking about prompting. Could you please share again the ideas of what to respect or how to write a good prompt when using AI tools?
Yeah, the first one is to describe the role the AI take place. As I mentioned, specify act as an in-house privacy manager or experienced DPO that working in the service provider in the European Union, and your main professional activities are based on the GDPR. The second one is to provide a context, like what you're going to do, what this how this response will help you. Like, I'm conducting semi-annual privacy impact assessment of these specific processing activities. The third one is to provide the format of this response. For example, maybe you need an Excel file, or you need a table table format with description of processing activity itself, legal basis, whether DPIA is needed. Like some people prefer table format. And the last one is providing direct instructions, what you expect from AI to do for you, and to provide some guardrails. Maybe you can copy-paste article from the GDPR, or you can upload EDPB or Working Party 29 guidelines there also to improve the quality of the output that you would like to get at the end. So it's like my four rules that I follow, and based on the information that I research on how to write a strong prompt. So I hope that it will help you.
I would also add in specific processing activities, you may need to specify the country that you're operating, because local regulations may regulate specific topics differently. For example, employment is it may be different rules on the processing sides, like identity related topics. And the other one I would like to add is what kind of tone of voice should the document be? Who is the reader going to be? Like, what do you want to achieve with that? Is it for the management? Is it for your colleagues? Is it externally? Is it internally? It's like, who is the reader? So because you want to that the reader understands what you want to say as well. And I usually use like this. I have my own tone of voice prompt that I use. That if I want to spread some kind of like a message or that. So yeah, like because the reader has to understand. We understand, but the reader has to understand as well. So I got to put the thumbs up. So we've covered that as well. And we previously, before the webinar started, we talked about like overall what's happening in life and in privacy and AI landscape. And if I would have to ask you, what's the world going to look like in 5 years' time? What do you think it will look? What's the exciting trend? What should we all be prepared for?
I'm an optimist, so I'm pretty sure that AI will not replace the human heart of our profession, our judgment, our ethics, and our commitment to people, because like privacy and probably AI behind of it, it's about people. But it can become a trusted co-pilot that help us to focus on what truly matters. So let's experiment, share experience, learn from each other, and continue shaping this space responsibly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it will provide an outlet for people who are really good in building processes, understanding information, analysis, synthesis. So it's like a privacy engineering position. And I think bigger companies, tech companies, will start incorporating a privacy engineering as something that will sit either with the DPO legal or in the engineering department to like build bridges between these different departments. So, and prompting will definitely be a skill that is required to do your job efficiently. And it's not just reading the regulations, it's about like making them come to life.
Yeah. So compliance is it shouldn't be only about papers. It should be about real processes. And for creation of these processes, of course, we need like efforts of different teams, including engineering teams.
Sure. Maria, if you could give DPOs, all the DPOs and privacy professionals, compliance officers, one piece of advice working with AI, what would it be?
Probably to encourage all of us to stay both curious and courageous and to explore more, to explore all these opportunities and not to be afraid of trying. Thinking about confidentiality nature of some part of our job, but it's a universal advice to stay curious.
Absolutely. Thank you, Maria, again for coming and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone for attention, and see you soon.
So for all of our audience, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the questions, and the recording of this webinar will also be available to all of you who want to watch it or rewatch it in the future. Our next webinar will happen in a couple of weeks on the 26th of November. And we're going to talk about building global privacy programs in multicultural group companies who have like 100 different subsidiaries globally, 13,000 employees. Like how to navigate all of that and building sufficient processes around it. And we have two privacy professionals coming in from one of our clients, Hager Group, Charles and Marvin. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation next time. So hope you'll manage to take your time in the busy autumn schedule and feel free to sign up. And wishing you all a lovely Wednesday and see you next time.